Dear students, I welcome you on behalf of Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College for the remote teaching learning process, where our motto is let learning be a joy and teaching a pleasure. Let us now move towards part 6 of chapter number 2, Sources of Corporate Finance, wherein today we are going to understand the meaning and features of debentures. Let us understand the sixth question, which speaks about define debenture and explain the features of debentures. Before we shall move towards features of debentures, let us understand the meaning of debentures. Every joint stock company requires huge amount of capital in order to carry on its business activities. So accordingly, it has to raise capital by means of owned capital as well as borrowed capital. So accordingly, debentures represents the borrowed capital which a company requires to meet its medium and long-term financial needs. The word debenture has been derived from the Latin word debere, which means to owe. Let us now see what is the definition of debenture as given in section 2 subsection 30 of Companies Act 2013. It says that the word debenture includes debenture stock, bonds, and any other instrument of a company evidencing a debt, whether constituting a charge on the assets of the company or not. This indicates that the word debenture not only includes debenture stock, bonds, but any other instrument which creates or acknowledges a debt, wherein the company may or may not create charge on the property or assets of the company. Debentures are a proof of indebtedness, which means that it shows that the company owes certain amount to the debenture holder. This amount it has taken in the form of loan, which it is required to repay after certain specified period of time. Debentures are usually issued in the form of debenture certificate, which means it is an instrument which is issued in form of debenture certificate under the common seal of company. Let us now move towards the features of debentures. The first feature is promise. Debenture certificate indicates that the company owes a certain specified sum of money to the debenture holder, which means that whenever the company takes loan in the form of debentures from the debenture holder, this amount will be repaid back to the debenture holder at the time of maturity of debentures, and this promise is made by the company in the debenture certificate. The second feature is face value. Face value is that value which is written on the face of the debenture certificate. Usually, the denomination of debentures are higher when compared to the equity shares. This face value could be either in rupees 100 or in multiples of rupees 100, that is rupees 200, rupees 300, rupees 400, etc. The third feature is time of repayment. Debentures being borrowed capital have to be repaid back to its holder after certain specified period of time. The due date is stated in the debenture certificate and the company is thereby obliged to repay the principal amount back to the debenture holders on maturity date. The next and the fourth feature is priority of repayment. The debenture holders enjoy the priority of receiving their capital amount before the amount is paid back to any other claimants of the company, which means that the debenture holders get their capital amount back firstly and then only the other claimants are given their claim amount. The fifth feature is assurance of repayment. Not only the debenture holders enjoy priority not only in case of repayment, but also they get an assurance of repayment. Debenture represents borrowed capital and it is usually considered to be a long-term debt. However, the company gives an assurance that is guaranteed to the debenture holders that they will be paid back their amount on the due date, that is the maturity date. The next feature is interest. Debenture holders get interest at a fixed rate on their investment. This interest is usually paid periodically by the company, irrespective of whether the company has profit or losses made by the company. Let us now move towards the seventh feature, which is parties to debentures. There are three parties to debentures. Let us understand them in detail. The first is the company, which borrows money by issue of debentures. The second party is debenture trustee. However, debenture trustees need to be appointed only if the company is offering debentures to more than 500 people. Further, the company has to make an agreement with the trustees, which is known as trust deed. This trust deed specifies the rights of the debenture holders, the power of the trustee, and the obligation of the company. The third party are the debenture holders themselves, who provide the loan capital to the company and receive debenture certificate as an evidence or proof of the loan amount given to the company. The eighth feature is authority to issue debentures. The power or the authority to issue debenture lies with the board of directors, because the board of directors are considered to be the supreme controlling authority in a joint stock company. So accordingly, the board of directors have the power to issue debentures. Let us now move towards the ninth feature, which is status of debenture holders. Debenture holders are called as creditors of the company as they provide loan capital to the company. The company has to pay them interest at a fixed rate till the time the debenture amount are redeemed back to them. So, the debenture holders are considered to be the creditors of the company as they have provided the necessary loan amount to the joint stock company. The tenth feature is no voting rights. Debenture holders, being the creditors of the company, they do not enjoy normal and regular voting rights like the equity shareholders. They cannot attend the general meeting of the company like the shareholders, and thereby they do not exercise or do not enjoy normal voting rights like the equity shareholders. The 11th feature is security. Debenture capital is considered to be secured because the company offers security in the form of charge on the assets of the company, which could be fixed charge or floating charge. It means that if the company is unable to pay interest to the debenture holders or is unable to make repayment of the capital amount to the debenture holders, in that case the debenture holders enjoy the right to sell off the charged property and recover their money. It is for this reason that the debentures are considered to be secured and safe capital. The 12th feature is issuers. Debentures can be issued by both private and public company. There are no restriction as to which company can issue the debentures, which means that both private as well as a public company has the authority to issue debentures. The 13th feature is listing. Just like equity shares, even debentures have to be listed with at least one recognized stock exchange of the country. So it depends on the company as to which stock exchange to be selected for listing its debentures. Without listing, a company cannot issue its debentures to the general public because as per the Companies Act, it is mandatory for the companies to list their debentures with the stock exchange before they are actually issued to the general public. Let us now move towards the 14th and the last feature, which is transferability. Debentures are easily transferred from one person to another person through instrument of transfer, which means that after following the provisions which are given in the Articles of Association and the Companies Act, it is easy for a debenture holder to transfer his or her debentures to any other person. For this purpose, the debenture holders is required to fill the instrument of transfer, so the debentures are easily transferred through the instrument of transfer. So dear students, with this we have completed the 14 features of debentures. Thank you dear children for your patience listening. Have a great day.